Hey, it's Mary and I'm back with another scrapbooking layout process video. I'm going to be using this awesome cut file that I had found at the cut shop, and I'm going to be using some January exclusive Hip Kit Club papers that I still had left over in my stash, and then this kind of space looking picture. Seriously, I think I have from high school. Yeah, 17 years ago. And it's probably older than that. I just remember having it since high school. So that's like a 20-year-old paper. Why I still had it in my stash? Don't ask me. Apparently I hoard paper. But it's really cool because it's back in style. This like spacey kind of paper. Anyway, back to the layout. So I'm going to be using my still broken fine line bottle. Seriously, I had that thing for less than a month and it broke. I was so ticked off. And I'm going to be bordering the stars that I've glued down on top of that gray and white striped paper. I'm going to take that blue and white thinner striped paper and just kind of make a header and a footer for this layout. And then I'll go ahead and stitch it up. So my trick for stitching kind of a messy line is to stitch one straight line and then take the second line when you're going back the other way and do the second line messy. And that kind of gives it a really messy, fun look, but yet it's still cohesive, if that makes sense, because there's at least one straight line. So I'm just layering up some papers. I've grabbed that this pink feathery reddish paper from the Pink Paisley Moonstruck collection. Oh, yeah. My stinking ATG. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, when it runs out, it's so frustrating because it's always the most inconvenient time that it runs out. Anyway, so I've gone ahead and backed up my photo with some paper layers, and I added in the Hip Kit exclusive card with the chevrons on it. I'm going to make it into a tag in a little bit. But first, we interrupt this program to bring you Creepy Baby, who needs Band-Aids, apparently. All right, here, back to making this into a tag. I grabbed some scraps and I'm just making kind of like my own DIY hole reinforcer. Sorry, Creepy Baby is gonna stay to the left of the screen for a little bit. And I thought originally that I would go ahead and journal on the tag, but I ended up just journaling on the side, and you'll see that in the close-ups at the end. I finally was able to use this Shine Bright piece of ephemera from the Pink Paisley Moonstruck ephemera pack. I'm going to go ahead and tie on some black and white striped baker's twine, and I decided I'm going to go ahead and move on to my title because the title is a really long title. I'm going to say "You Are My Sun," but I'm doing a play on words again, S-O-N instead of S-U-N. My moon and all my stars. Also playing around with these 7 paper Studio Calico puffy letters, puffy alphas. This is a Dear Lizzie. Don't know which collection, but these are foam thicker words from Dear Lizzie, and they had 2 my's on there, and that was perfect. So I used those for my title to give it a little bit of added interest. Use the ampersand from the One Canoe 2 collection on their sticker sheet, and then to make these Studio Calico white alphas pop off of the paper, kind of blended in with the stars. There's a lot going on in the background, so I took more of that super old paper from my stash and just made a little banner for it. Then I'm going to pop that up on some craft foam. And I really love how this title turned out. I really like to make long titles if if I can. I mean, sometimes, you know, sometimes we can't do a long title on everything, but I really love making these big statement titles for those perfect layouts. So I'm just going to go in and I'm going to take my black pen around some of these shapes to make them stand out a little bit more. I'm going to play around with this little heart ephemera and stick it right there on the title, and that worked out great. These are some more of the foam stars off of that Dear Lizzie thicker sheet. And I'm going to play around with those a little bit in their placement. A lot of this was just kind of like place it down, see where it goes. I'm trying to draw your eye down from the left and up to the right, because you have those big, like you have the big picture and then you have the big title, and then there's kind of an empty spot between the picture and the top. So I'm just trying to draw your eye up or down, because Isaac is looking down at me. So I try to place my embellishments in whoever's line of sight, if that makes sense. Whoever's in the picture, their line of sight, especially when it's just like this one-on-one picture. So I'm grabbing some of my tiny alphas, and this ends up changing, and I ended up changing it the next day. So you'll see it in the close-ups after the video, because I came back the next day and I'm like, I just don't like the your. It needs to be you are, and it needs to be a different font. So you'll see that in the close-ups in the end. But for now, you're going to watch me fiddle around and stick them down. So now I'm just trying to think of what else I can layer on this tag so it doesn't look empty, because after I got all of the title down, it was so big, I didn't want to put my journaling there because I felt like there was already just enough writing over there. These are, so I'm going to bring that red in a little bit more. And the reason why I chose that pinkish red was because I wanted to bring out the colors in the picture. We have oak bamboo blinds in our living room, and also there was a red pillow on there, so it casts this kind of pinkish tone on the picture, and I didn't want to fight that. I wanted it to blend in with the rest of what's going on. So that's a good tip for you. Like if you have, I've had really, really horrible pictures that turn out looking great in scrapbooking layouts because the colors that you coordinated with your supplies that you used brings out the color in the picture, and then it just doesn't look like a horrible picture because you've coordinated it. It just looks like it's supposed to go together. So I'm going to bring in that reddish pink colored paper in a couple spots there at the bottom, and then one at the top, and then of course behind the photo, and I'll bring more enamel triangle shapes in as well towards the end. So I'm going to fiddle with my title a little bit more, and you saw me bring in some black star confetti sequins from the Dollar Tree, and I place those down. I continue adding. Here I'm using India ink to do splatters with, and I really don't like how it comes out of the dropper, so I decided to go grab a paintbrush and try it that way, and it turned out a lot better. So after I've got the India ink dried, I'm going to go back in and use, put even more stars in. But I did more of the tiny stars, so they looked more like splatters. And here I decided to put my journaling on the right. I didn't want to take away from that angle any more than I've already done, and I could have put it where I'm putting the date stamp now, but it just worked out fine on the right hand side. And it was unique. This is a little star cut out from the cut file that I used, and it had fallen or like ripped apart when I was pulling it apart, and you can't see where that is empty at because it's behind the picture, but I just decided to go ahead and add it in. And here I'm playing around with these enamel triangles, seeing where I like them, and I really loved kind of pointing into the picture, and it gives more movement around the page. yeah, and so after I get done using these enamel triangle shapes, I went ahead and grabbed my Tim Holtz tiny word stickers, and I put down how sweet it is to be loved by you. We were just having a great conversation, and he does that. He just comes and sits on the couch with me, and he's got this super serious look on his face, and he just is telling me about his day, and I love it. I love this age. He just turned 8 on St. Patrick's Day. So wish him a happy birthday in the comments below, and I'll go ahead and read them off to him because he really enjoys this YouTube adventure that I'm on. So anyway, thanks for watching, you guys. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet. If you already have, we're so thankful for you for sticking around, and leave us a comment, like this video. Talk to you guys later. Bye.